Hi and welcome to Orbit. I'm here at the Leica HQ to see how the cooperation between Leica and Xiaomi works. What does Leica really do for Xiaomi and what is the future of smartphone photography? From the start, Leica influenced photography. The first mobile camera was built by Leica in Germany. Many of the most popular pictures were taken with a Leica. Since the start and till today, all cameras and lenses are built by hand in Germany. The quality of the products and the pictures is on the highest level. But Leica does not only have a great history, they are actively looking into the future, and for 8 years now they are working together with smartphone manufacturers. This is the Xiaomi 13 Pro. It's a fancy smartphone with a ceramic back, an extremely bright display and the battery that can charge in 19 minutes from 0 to 100% with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. It's all the latest and greatest tech you can get. The highlight is for sure the camera system in the smartphone, and Leica influenced two of the three elements that make up a smartphone camera. First, lens. The first thing that happens when you take a picture is light hitting a lens. Lenses are made out of glass and they form the light with perfect precision. The design of a lens is complex science. You have to take in account the contrast, the color and of course chromatic aberration. Leica built ultra sharp and compact lenses for many years now. And they did develop the three lenses of the Xiaomi 13 Pro. The telelens has a floating lens group. Therefore, it can focus super close and the autofocus is extremely fast. The main camera has 8 lenses in it. For a smartphone, that's plenty. The main reason for this is the sensor size. Second, sensor. The sensor itself is not from Leica themselves, but it's not in their cameras either. It is built by Sony. It's the IMX989 and it's the largest, most modern smartphone sensor. It is massive, 1 inch big and has a 50 megapixel resolution. The individual pixels are about 30% larger than in an iPhone 14 Pro. And the larger a sensor and the pixel, the more light it can take in and the more realistic the colors can look. A nice benefit is the natural depth of field called bokeh. But let's assume for a moment that every smartphone uses the same lens and the same exact sensor. There would still be a big factor that would dramatically affect the image quality. Third, the software. The software deals with all the information it gets from the sensor. Grain is removed. Multiple pictures are fused into one with a higher dynamic range. Certain types of elements in the picture are colored differently. Are the skin tones too bright, too dark, too magenta, too yellow? The software makes the biggest difference in a smartphone. And because there's a lot of data, you need a lot of horsepower. Smartphone manufacturers are good in understanding the technical side of photography, but they don't quite get the aesthetics and the artsy type of side of taking pictures. Therefore, smartphone cameras are often oversaturated, over-processed, a little bit too sharp. Xiaomi developed two profiles for Leica: Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant. Authentic captures the colors, the contrast and the dynamic range as if it was your eyes. Very natural, very soft and balanced. Vibrant is more punchy, but not only that, the HDR effect is stronger. The pictures look brighter and more spectacular, more like a smartphone. I am surprised how much control Xiaomi gave to Leica. This required a lot of trust and it could have backfired. Xiaomi is a lot bigger than Leica. To realize this tight cooperation, there had to be Leica employees in China with Xiaomi, and now there are Xiaomi employees here in Germany at the Leica HQ. Well, not right now at this exact moment. It is Saturday and before 10 AM, but you get my point. At the end, this smartphone camera has to go through the same testing as the real Leica cameras do. In general, there was talk of a close cooperation in which Leica was allowed to represent and uphold its own values. But it is not only limited to the Xiaomi 13 and 13 Pro. The partnership may last forever, or at least more than 2 years. I was pleasantly surprised to see that a lot of Leica workers are actually using Xiaomi or Huawei smartphones. I think that's a good sign. And did it work? Are the photos any good? Well, this is not a review, but here are my first impressions. That the lenses in the smartphone are developed by Leica is a thing that only very few people will notice. But the tele camera with the extreme close focus, that's really nice. And I think everyone will notice. For me, the highlight is the color reproduction. I like that there's not an extreme HDR effect, and the sharpness is super high and even higher than on other smartphones, even though the pictures do not look over sharpened. The shallow depth of field is impressive and sometimes even too high. Only the ultra-wide angle gives me some headaches, but more on that in the full review. What does the future look like? Leica handed me a prototype of a Xiaomi device with a 2-inch sensor and a regular Leica M lens. And it kinda looked wrong and felt wrong and was super heavy, but the image quality was extremely impressive. It looked like a full-on camera. And I really hope that someday it is possible to have an image quality comparable to this one in a way smaller package. When I asked Leica what they think the future is, they told me they think the future lies in software. And that kind of was surprising to hear from a hardware company. When I came here, I wanted to find out whether this is all marketing bullshit or whether Leica really had something to say about this camera in a smartphone. And I'm glad to report, yes, they did. They really tried their best to make this camera special, and I think it is special. Especially the Leica Authentic mode is really great for me because I think smartphone photography is a little bit too artificial nowadays, and this mode really is a difference to that. It makes smartphone photography more like a real camera, and I do like that. And I'm really interested to see where this whole cooperation goes in the future. So yeah, I'm glad that I was invited here. Thanks to Xiaomi and thanks to Leica, and I see you in the next one. Bye.